The solution of BBA third semester Business Communication Unit 2 Management. The question start as what is management? Is it an art or a science? An intrinsic or a set of skill and techniques that can be taught. The word management is derived from the Latin word manage, main, and t, in which manage means well arrangement, main means through human beings, and t means tactfully. Thus, management is the coordination of all the resources through the process of planning, organizing, directing, and controlling in order to attain stated objectives. Management is defined as the both art and science of organizing and directing human efforts applied to control the forces and utilize the materials of nature for the benefit of man. In my view of management is called as an art because managing requires certain skills which are personal possessions of managers. Since science provides the knowledge and art deals with the application of knowledge and skills. A successful manager in his profession must acquire the knowledge of science and the art of applying it in practice. Management is called as an art because management requires certain skills which are personal professions of manager. Science teaches to know and art teaches to do. Management is both an intrinsic or a set of skills and technique that can be taught. Good intrinsic will always help in any situation. Learning to be a good manager. A good manager takes experience and practice. A good manager should have personality traits like emotional intelligence, non-verbal intelligence, communication and listening confident, and decision making focused and goal driven. And a good manager should also have management skill like task management and delegation, problem solving and critical thinking, time management and organization, etc. What is management? What are the essential qualities of a good manager? Discuss. Management is the art of knowing what you want to do and then seeing that it is done in the best and cheapest way. Management is the coordination of all the resources through the process of planning, organizing, directing, and controlling in order to attain stated objectives. The essential qualities of a good manager are: a good manager should be able to communicate with people. A good manager should be able to motivate and inspire and lead people. A good manager should be competent, knowing one's job perfectly as well as the work of one's subordinate. A good manager should have good ideas. A good manager should be persuasive, which means they should be able to convince people to do things. A good manager should be highly educated and knowing a lot about the world. A good manager should be an expert in their field. A good manager should be trusting which towards their employees. A good manager should have embracing technology. A good manager should be an active listener. A good manager should be able to plan and monitor and control. Question number 3. What is company structure? Explain the different ways of organizing companies. A company structure is also called as an organizational structure. A company structure is a system that outlines how certain activities are directed in order to achieve the goals of an organization. The organizational structure also determines how information flows between the levels within the company. A company structure defines how activities such as task allocation, coordination, and supervision are directed toward the achievement of organizational aim. The different ways of organizing companies are line structure, metric structure, functional structure, staff position. First, line structure. Line company structure is the oldest and simplest form of organization. In this organization, a supervisor exercises direct supervision over a subordinate. Also, authority flows from the topmost person in the organization to the person in the lowest run. B. Matrix organizational structure. Matrix organizational structure is defined as a workplace format in which employees report to two or more than two managers rather than one manager overseeing every aspect of a project. For example, an employee may have a primary manager they report to as well as one or more project manager they work under. Third, functional organizational structure. Functional organizational structure is used to organize the workers. They are grouped based on their specific skills and knowledge. It is vertically structures each department with roles from the president to finance and sales departments to customer services to employees assigned to one product or services. Fourth, line staff organizational structure. It attempts to render a large and complex enterprise more flexible without sacrificing managerial authority. For question number 4, what are the advantages and disadvantages of working in a big or small company? Answer. First, a small company. The advantages of working in a small company are the atmosphere is friendlier and you know everyone. The working environment is flexible in the company. Innovation, financial performance, employment creation, independence. The disadvantages of working in a small company are lower salaries, stinger benefits, less formal training, less opportunity for growth. There is lack of financial security. You will have unpredictable working hours. Now in large company, the advantages of working in a large company are large financial resources, limited liability, professional management, large scale production, contribution to society, research and development. The disadvantages of working in a large company are less creative thinking, hard to get ahead. You will feel hard to seen as a person because in large company there are a lot of employees. Divorce of ownership from the control that can lead to conflicting objectives. May suffer from slow decision making and poor communication. Now question number 2. What do you think makes a good manager? Which four of the following qualities do you think are the most important solution? The four quality I think the most important are a good manager should be able to communicate with people. A good manager should be able to motivate and inspire and lead people. A good manager should be competent, which means knowing one's job perfectly as well as the work of one's subordinate. A good manager should be persuasive, which means they should be able to convince people to do things. Next question is, Are there any qualities that you think should be added to this list? No, there are not any qualities that I think should be added to list this. Question number 3. Which of these qualities can be acquired, which must you be born with? There is clearly no definition answer so as to which of these skills can be acquired. I would be born with having good ideas. Moving toward 1B reading part, the text summarizes some of the Peter Drucker's views on management. As you read about his description of the work of a manager, decide whether the 5 different functions he mentioned require the 4 qualities you selected in your decision or others you did not choose. Answer. Peter Drucker has given description of the work of a manager. 5 different functions Peter Drucker has mentioned with their 4 qualities are described below. First, setting objective and developing strategies. A good manager for setting objective and developing strategies, they should have the following skill. Good skill, being competent, that is knowing one's job perfectly as well as the work of one's subordinate. Being logical, rational and analytical. Being decisive, which means managers should be able to make quick decisions. Next one is organizing. For organizing any company or organization, a manager should have the following qualities: having good ideas, being competent, that is knowing one's job perfectly as well as works of one's subordinates, being logical, rational and analytical. Next one is motivation and communication. For motivation and communication, the manager should have the following qualities: being friendly and sociable, being able to communicate with people, being able to motivate and inspire the lead people, being persuade, able to convince people to do things. Next one is measuring performance. For measuring performance, measuring the performance of the organization, a good manager should have the following qualities: being logical, rational, and analytical, being competent, knowing one's job perfectly as well as the works of one's subordinate. Next one is developing people. For developing people, the manager should have the following qualities: being able to communicate with people, being able to motivate and inspire the lead people, having good ideas, being competent, that is knowing one's job perfectly as well as the work of one's subordinate. Moving toward the 1C exercise, complete the following sentences with these words: achieve, BOD, communicate, innovations, manageable, performance, resources, setting, supervise. Manager have to decide how best to allocate the human, physical and capital resources available to them. Managers logically have to make sure that the jobs and tasks given to their subordinates are manageable. There is no point in setting objectives if you don't communicate them to your staff. Fourth, the manager have to supervise their subordinate and to measure and try to improve their performance. Fifth, the manager have to check whether objectives and targets are being achieved. Sixth, a top manager whose performance is unsatisfactory can be dismissed by the company's board of director. Top managers are responsible for the innovation that will allow a company to adapt a changing world. Moving to our 1D vocabulary, allocate resources, that is people, communicate information, that is decision, develop strategies, make decisions, measure performance, motivate people, perform jobs, set objectives, supervise subordinates. Moving toward the reading section, read the computer journalist Robert X. Kringlich's description of the management style at IBM.is. He positive or negative about IBM's working culture. Robert Kringlich's history of the personal computer industry is very informative in places where critical and also very funny. In this extract, he is extremely negative about IBM, saying that they put much effort into management and worrying about the possibility of making bad decisions and not enough into producing goods competitively priced products. To be comprehension, explain in your answer on words exactly what Robert Cross Kringley means in the following sentences. 1. Every IBM employee's ambition is apparently to become a manager. It seems as if the people who work for IBM are more interested in being regarded as a manager than as a computer designer or technician. Next question is, IBM makes management the company's single best business. Answer. IBM's corporate culture seems to be place more emphasis on the management than on developing and selling company's products. Fifth, IBM executives manage the design and writing of software. Answer. IBM's managers don't actually do the work of designing and writing software themselves, but organize and supervise the supervise the people who do it. 4. IBM products often aren't very competitive. IBM products are rarely as good or as cheap as similar products made by their competitors. Next one is, the safety net is so big as IBM that it is hard to make a bad decision. There is an extensive hierarchy and a system of checks and controls which ensures that bad decisions are generally avoided. But good decisions also take a very long time to make. 6. This will be the source of the company's ultimate downfall. Answer. The slowness of the IBM's decision-making process and the consequences lack of competitiveness of their products will eventually destroy the company. 2C. Vocabulary. Seemingly, apparently, computer programs, software, work, time and energy, effort, computer and other machines, hardware, young workers still learning their jobs, trainees, knowledge and skill, expertise, level of strata, layers. 8. To make certain that something is true, verify, correct or slightly changed, amended, collapse or failure, downfall. Thank you for listening.